people get offended by boundaries, but again, those are the people that want to change you and they want to violate those boundaries. Boundaries are literally, I think if we look at it a different way, if we reshape what boundaries are basically my code, my preferential DNA that I've established that's just looking to match with a woman's preferential DNA, and we have the same things. Our boundaries are the same. We are for each other. So my boundaries are not going to bother a woman that is for me.
That's right.
And hers aren't going to bother me. You know what I mean? So it's really about establishing who you're meant for. Too often, we're trying to pair ourselves with people that we just don't belong with, and then that's when all the fighting and the why can't you be like this?
Yeah.
I'm asking you to be somebody else.
Yep.
So why don't I just go get somebody else?
Tell us about a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't. There's nothing better than this. Say what you mean. 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 Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Aida Rodriguez, and welcome to another episode of Say What You Mean, where people stop by to share those stories of those moments where they wish they would have said something and didn't. In the natural fashion of the show, we start with my own Say What You Mean, and this one today is going to be, I guess, a little more heartfelt and not confrontational. There's a guy in Arizona who shall remain nameless, who I dated at one point in my life, and we ended up parting ways. And I never had an opportunity to tell him the impact that he had on my life. I know a lot of times when people break up, they remember all the bad things about a person during the breakup period, or they romanticize the person when they weren't ready for the departure. But I had a lot of time to process this, and I just wanted to say thank you. I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are. The way you showed up in my life as a person and as a friend, far more important than the romantic aspect, was very important to how I was feeling about myself. And I just want to say thank you, because I don't think I ever said thank you for that. Thank you for showing up for me the way that you did, for being selfless and putting the romantic stuff on the side and giving me what I needed as a person. I take that with me till I go see the big one. So thank you. I just wanted to say that. Now, we moving on to the show. The next person coming to the show is somebody who I've shared words with. I think at one point in my life, I used to talk to this person every day. And then you start working and you start being on the road on different time zones, and things just start happening. But I shared with him, we were just talking about, like, when I used to feel down, I'll go watch some of his self-made stuff on the internet, and it would just make me laugh, because one of my favorite characters in sketch is one that he did called Big Time. But you know him from a hip-hop story, Wild 'N Out, A Haunted House. But we have this self-made thing that we talk about, because when they say no, we say yes, and then we go do it because God said so. Welcome to the show, Affion Crockett.
What's up, my sister?
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Last time I saw you, we was in the airport.
We were
on the same plane.
On the same plane, going to the same city for a layover.
Yeah, we went two different ways, but yeah, you always one of my favorite people. That's not going to change.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because I need to hear that, because I don't talk to you every day like I used to.
Right. But no, nothing has changed, because I know you. I know that when I don't hear from you, I know the things that you wrestle with.
Yeah.
I know the things that you are working toward. And so I don't take none of it personal. It's not I don't ever feel like I don't know you anymore if we don't talk for a while. I'm just like, I'll see her.
That it does. And when I don't hear from you, I know that you either gone viral on social media and have gotten very busy. You got a new girlfriend and have gotten very busy.
That ain't been the case. That ain't been the case lately. I'll tell you that.
And or you're, because in the natural form, we would run into each other at the airport, both going to do stand up.
Right.
And there's this weird thing about stand up comedy. When you start comedy, you get to see your friends all the time, and you start them, and then
that's when it's young and everyone's got the stars in their eyes
Yeah.
and it's all optimistic.
And
And
then
then
you
people start getting fucked by the business.
and then you start seeing the shades in the daytime, and you're like, why they got on shades?
Shit, in the nighttime. That's when it's even worse.
I mean, in the nighttime, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And then also everybody starts leaving. Everybody starts traveling. You're not at the outside the Laugh Factory like you were once, or till 4:00 in the morning because you got to catch a flight. So it's always fun to catch up with your friends, and you're somebody who I have had very deep conversations with,
right?
And the power of words. What do words mean to you? How important are they in your life?
They're everything. Whether you believe in, whatever your religion is, right? The Christian Bible says there's the power of life and death is in the tongue. But it's not limited to that. Anything you say, you have. Anything you say. That's why, witches and all them, they call them spells when they're casting spells on people. They're using words.
That's right.
There's a series of words that they use. So, and then when you put a word together, you spell it. So it's, even if you take the example of, again, I'm not pushing a religion, but just the example of what the story says, when God created the earth, in the story, he spoke everything into existence. He didn't put on work gloves and Timberland boots and overalls and go build the earth. He spoke. He said, let there be light. Let there be this and that, let the seas separate from the mountains. He spoke it. So that tells me, okay, everything that I speak, it's going to come to pass, good or bad. So you better be mindful to not speak what you feel all the time, because your feelings are fleeting.
That's right.
Words have power, and whatever you speak, you have.
How does that play into your comedy? Your words, your use of words?
Comedy, I give myself a little more freedom to just be, I have to be entertaining as well, right? But I still don't say things that I know can manifest in my life. Right? I will talk about things that have happened and make them into a story or make them funny, but I give myself a little more freedom on stage because people are paying their hard-earned money. So even though I do have a little preach in me, they still got to be in there laughing. So, I'm a little more buck wild on stage.
It's so funny because you watch the comedians that you love and you see, I think everybody goes through a preachy phase, because that's what with some of us who write on stage, we're trying to find our jokes. Like we're really just, but I'll watch comedians. Like I've watched Dave Chappelle like in the last few years, and I'm like, he's doing a lot more talking, where before he would do a lot of just joke. But now it feels like there's a lot of like, I have wisdom, so let me tell you about this. Or I'm going to use my voice and my platform to speak up about this.
I think it's natural. As we age, you learn stuff in life and you care about more things, and the older you get, when you start worrying about your own mortality, then you care about other people's mindset, some of the lack of their mindset. You care about saying something that can help,
right, or
inspire, or lead in some kind of a way. So for me, I've always been a fan of George Carlin, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, Raw, because I look at Raw now, and of course, Delirious at the time, we understood, we can quote it. The ice cream man is coming, all of that stuff, right? But when you look at Raw, you look at this young 20-something-year-old man, he's giving you game. Like all the stuff that men in my age and in the comedy game are talking about now, about relationships, and all, Eddie was doing it in Raw.
Yeah.
About getting, the gold diggers, if you're rich, if you're famous, if people wanting to sue you when you get famous and fighting in a nightclub.
That was on Fufu, right?
Fufu, yeah. All of that. Yo, Raw is brilliant. Delirious is his, like you said, the early Dave Chappelle stuff. The joke, the impression, the this, the that. But the maturity is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like we get preachy as we get a little older, and those of us who are smart. Everybody ain't smart.
No.
So the ones of us who are smart start to preach a little more.
Yeah. You get a battle. You have a battle in your head because there's so much you want to say, and you want to. You're like, I want you to laugh, but I want you to live. Like I want you to take this with you.
Yeah, but they're taking our freedom of speech away.
Yeah, I've been watching.
That's active.
I've been listening.
It's tangible now.
Yeah, it's becoming scary.
It's weaponized.
It's being weaponized, and it's affecting everybody, regardless of who voted for who. Like it's
It don't matter what your profession is, what your gender is, what your race is. It's affecting everybody.
You got that Bruce Lee sweatshirt on. I know how much you love Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee used to drop a lot of game.
Wisdom.
Like, wisdom all the time. What is like, because I love Bruce Lee and I love Muhammad Ali. Like those are my heroes. And I know that the little girl in me and the little boy in you play in that space. But why Bruce Lee so much?
Bruce Lee, in an indirect way, he saved my life, right? I grew up in Germany, military brat, always moving around, always bullied, always the new kid in some new town, some new school. Watching Bruce gave me confidence, gave me an identity. Okay. It was my first sense of identity. Bruce Lee and hip hop, ironically, around the same times. Having a skill set that I could display on talent show stages in the rapping and the dancing made people ease up off me a little bit. Like, the nerdy kid or the new kid can dance. Let's watch him dance. I became a little cooler. So hip hop saved me in that way. Bruce Lee, when I started doing martial arts, and I started doing it just from watching his movies.
Jeet Kune Do? Did you do JKD or just?
I just did whatever I saw him do in Return of the Dragon, the film where he fought Chuck Norris, right? I didn't know about Wing Chun then. I didn't know about Jeet Kune Do yet.
It's Kung Fu.
I just saw his movement, and I didn't realize this until later. Bruce Lee was also a dancer. So the way he approached martial arts was very springy, very like, I just understood it. And I would do it. And then I would go spar guys that I knew had black belts and I would be able to hang with them. So Bruce just gave me confidence. He gave me confidence at a time when you're 12, 13, puberty, you're learning yourself, girls, and I'm a shy kid because I'm a new student and these moving every 3-4 years. That shit is traumatizing.
It is.
It's very, very traumatizing. And Bruce was the beacon of light that I saw that gave me the confidence to say, because in pretty much all of his movies, he was the underdog that went to some new place. He's 5'3", skinny as hell, but buff, ripped, but he's like 135, 138. Like, so to see this dude in every one of his plots be the underdog and then just start whooping it kind of, that's the battery in the back that I needed. Not that I wanted to go fight people, but it gave me confidence to live life and hold my head up and go after the things that I want.
Is there a moment you can think of where you wish you would have said something and you didn't?
I mean, yeah. There's of course there's moments like that, right? There's relationships that you should have walked away from 3 years before you actually did.
Yes.
Like for example, I was dating this person, this lady, long distance. I don't want to say where because I don't want to give it away, but I was dating this woman long distance. And
long distance.
Yeah, it was a way. And she was in this mindset of she was so hurt already that now in this phase of her being in relationships, the guys are gonna have to cater to her. So I was gonna have to cater to her to prove to her that I was worthy of being in her life type. I should have said, have a nice life. Off.
Yeah.
The fixer in me wanted to prove to this woman that I'm the guy, I can make you feel better, all that that we fantasize about in our heads. So I should have walked away because that started a cycle of me doing that with a couple other women after that. And it was just wasted years of catering to toxicity. But I'm thankful for it because it all drove me to therapy and it all drove me to understand the toxicity in me that would even believe that I deserve that type of energy and treatment. So that's something I wish I would have said. Bye. Bye.
You should have said bye.
I should have said bye.
Say it now.
I don't need to say it. It's already gone. It's
Okay.
done.
No, we love to hear it, especially from men, because a lot of men will say, well, no, I always say what I want to say. A lot of people say it. They'll say, "Oh, no, I don't have, and I don't have a moment like that because I can't think of a."
That's false bravado.
Yeah, and it's like I think we all have those moments. You know, I've shared with you. I went to trauma therapy. I went and sat down, and have been sitting down since because I was like, I got to figure out what's wrong with me that I'm okay with this, or I'm attracting this, or just complicit in this treatment of me. And I just think it's important to be able to say, I should have did this, or I should have said that. So congratulations.
And that's what helps you to correct as you go forward, right?
Yes.
You know not to, they say if you want a different result, you got to do something different. So if you keep doing that same thing, and sometimes you don't even know you're doing it until you have that therapeutic mirror in front of you to say, hey, this is why you keep accepting this type of treatment.
Yeah, I can see the piece in you that is different. Like when I saw you at the airport, I could see
boundaries are a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And, they only become a threat to people that want to violate you.
Yep. And boundaries are for you. Like it's not for the other person, it's for you, right?
Yeah.
My daughter taught me that.
Yeah. But it's like people get offended by boundaries. But again, those are the people that want to change you and they want to violate those boundaries. Boundaries are literally, I think if we look at it a different way, if we reshape what boundaries are basically my code, my preferential DNA that I've established that's just looking to match with a woman's preferential DNA, and we have the same things. Our boundaries are the same. We are for each other. So my boundaries are not going to bother a woman that is for me.
That's right.
And hers aren't going to bother me. You know what I mean? So it's really about establishing who you're meant for. Too often, we're trying to pair ourselves with people that we just don't belong with, and then that's when all the fighting and the why can't you be like this?
Yeah,
I'm asking you to be somebody else.
Yep.
So why don't I just go get somebody else?
Yep, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Lord Jesus.
You wake up tired and you don't know why. You be like, I felt like I've been in a gym.
You be moody for no reason.
Yes.
And again, don't know why, but I will not do it again.
For you. I love to hear that. All right. So this segment is called Shoulda Kept That. I'm going to share a story with you that comes from the outside via social media. And you tell me if the person should have kept this.
To theyself.
Right. Hanging out with my girlfriend and another couple, we decided to go grab a bite to eat. My girlfriend's friend decided for the entire group that we were going to go to Sugarfish, which is a sushi place that exclusively serves sushi, and and he said, I spoke up. I said, I don't like fish. I don't eat fish. Her friend decided that we should just call it off and go eat separately. Should I have just been polite and not eat? Should I just have kept that?
That's kind of a. Is he the one that sent it? The guy that doesn't eat the fish?
Yeah, he was like, he said he was like, I don't like fish.
Yeah, I think he might have been a little too rigid. I mean, that's not a matter of life and death type of thing, but I think he might have been a little too rigid. Maybe he didn't really like the company he was about to keep. So I think he made it about the fish. Because Sugarfish got chicken too. Sugarfish got it's like a fusion kind of a restaurant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so they got everything. So he could have found something. Because I don't eat certain things either. I'm not a big seafood guy, but I do eat fish. I don't eat shrimp and lobsters and bottom feeders. But if someone's inviting me out and they have a place they prefer, I'm a go and I'm gonna just figure it out. It's not even about the food; it's about the company.
I mean, Sugarfish was everything to me during COVID. So he should have kept that.
Yeah, you should have kept that. That was a little too much.
All right, so now this is a lightning round. It's called Say It With Your Chest, Affion. Smash or pass, paper straws?
Smash.
Would you rather breaking or twerking?
Breaking.
Of course. How old were you when you first remembered dancing for others? Like
10.
10?
Yeah.
Fight or flight, 13 children, black belts. Are you fighting or flying? Fight or flight, 13 children, black belts.
13 children. I'm kicking them kids. Them kids.
All 13 of them?
All 13
They
of them
black
kids.
belts?
Beating
You think you could take them?
they kids. Kids up. You don't even need to use karate for kids. You just mush them in their head. They don't got balance yet. You mush their head over and they can't get their kick off. I could sweep 10 of them. I got long legs.
You think you could sweep 10 of them? So you don't think there's one, there's like a...
There's always going to be one that's
like
bad.
a LeBron of children?
Yeah, he's going to be a little Ernie Reyes Jr. type. Yeah, there's always going to be one that you might have to tussle with, but nah, them kids. How old are the kids?
How old are they?
10. Oh, them kids. I'm beating 10 to 12. Go on back to your bad parents.
If you could say anything to your favorite teacher, what would it be?
Funny story. And this is taking it out of the game, but
go ahead.
I found my 4th grade teacher
Oh, yeah?
years ago. Just Googled her. She had a very unique name. Her name was Miss Aura Flippin. And so I looked her up, and she had became the principal.
Was
my
she in Germany?
principal in Germany, yeah.
Okay.
First black woman teacher that I ever had. And,
Okay.
and the first black woman that, outside of my mother, I had the black woman experience,
Okay.
which was that innate knowing of this kid hasn't eaten, he needs a coat, like all those little things that, you know. So I found her years later. We had a reunion. Actually, my mom was visiting me. This is early 2000s. Reunion out here in LA. And then recently she passed away, but I was able to talk to her months before she passed. We were filming a hip hop story. So it was like December of 23. The casting director for a hip hop story just happened to be her niece.
Wow.
So
Dang.
small, like, you know what I mean? Small world, but not accidental.
Of
It
course.
was meant for us to have that conversation. And so on the way to set one day, we FaceTimed her. And she was like, wait, is that who I think it is? And we were able to just, have that conversation. I was able to tell her again, thank you for being who you were in the 4th grade. Like, I still had enough awareness to know that you impacted my life. So, to send her off, rest in peace. But I was happy to be able to give her that. She actually, we took a trip to Rome for my 8th birthday, and she was one of the chaperones. And so we were in the same Coliseum that Bruce and Chuck Norris fought in, Rome Coliseum. So we did that. I got pictures of us there. So I have so many memories with her, but I was able to tell her thank you, and she did an amazing job.
So when you came to America, how old were you when you came from Germany?
I went to Germany twice. When I left America, I was 6, came back at 10, went back to Germany at 12, and came back to the States at 16.
Okay.
Going on 17.
And every time you came back, how did that feel like?
It wasn't fun.
I know.
Because we were coming back to North Carolina.
Okay.
And at the time, it's crime. It's not as safe as Germany was. It's not as insulated as the military living was. So it shaped me into who I am, but it was some depressing times for me.
Yeah. Did you speak German?
A little bit, but most Germans spoke English.
Right.
And I was on an American base. So I never really had to learn German fluently. I wish I did, but nah.
Have you ever dated a German woman?
A black German girl, yeah, I did.
And how was that? Did it feel familiar to you?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
It did. We actually bonded on some of those things. Because this is later in my life. Like, this is when I'm living in LA. And I met this black German girl, and some of the stuff I was able to bring up, she was shocked that I remembered like some of the like desserts and some of the places we went, some of the terms, some of the words, some of the phrases. So yeah, it was a vibe.
Yeah, my daughter's ex-boyfriend is German. They don't have donuts. And so when he said that, he grew up in Germany, and he was like,
there's more pastries over there.
Yeah, he was like, he was very fascinated by donuts.
Yeah.
And it was just refreshing to see somebody be excited about something like that.
Yeah, and appreciative.
Yeah. He would be like, are we getting donuts?
That's hysterical.
You are somebody that I know, so that's why sometimes I got to be mindful of my conversations because I know you.
Yeah.
But I want to
You
share.
gotta edit yourself.
Yeah, no. Also share you with people who don't know you, that don't
Right.
know you. They know you from the internet. They know you to be funny. They don't know how serious you can be. They don't know how profound you can be, how emotional you can be. Like people see you, and it's funny. People send me your videos. And it's interesting. They'll be like, "Yo, you know who this? Do you know that? Have you ever seen this guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've eaten French fries with."
Kind of know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but at Jerry's Deli late at night.
Late at night, yeah.
So, who is Affion for the people who don't know you? Because you're you're such a multi hyphenate that people don't know who you are.
Initially, it's a tough question to answer, but initially the first answer is I'm the most chill, peaceful guy. I'm very laid back. I'm very cerebral. I'm quiet and I'm shy. That's initially who I am. But what goes on in all that thinking and observing and cerebralness is the talent. That's where everything comes from. I'm observing people and I can now mimic and I can take traits of this person and this character. Or I could sit around and think of, oh, that'd be a great movie idea. So because I also do everything, I write, I edit, I produce, I do everything. I perform. That's where the magic is happening. So the more chill my environment is the more conducive it is for me to create.
And he washes his fruits and vegetables and has one of the cleanest houses I've ever seen in my life.
Some people are like, what's fruits and vegetables? Oh, bad diet, having.
Yeah, no, but I started buying the brand of the thing you use to wash your fruits and vegetables because I would wash them with regular soap, dish soap, not body soap.
I don't use anything crazy now. I do water. So
no, when you was on cold water, you had this specific.
It was something else. Yeah,
it was.
That's probably somebody I was dating that had that.
Man, probably, but it was in the kitchen.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you date Affion, you could not just leave stuff in the bathroom. You could also come through and leave shit in the kitchen.
They leave wherever. I'll be like, all right.
So how are you feeling about how you are showing up in the world right now as an artist?
I feel great about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand up is
I am very much doing whatever I want.
Yeah, you're creating your own stuff. You always have.
Yeah, your self-made title. You're one of the first people to really like drive that point home and to emphasize that. Every time you say my name, you meant self-made is going to be somewhere around there. That phrase is coming. But it's true. Like you relate to it because you are that as well. Yeah. And I'm proud of what I've been able to put out. A hip hop story is my best work to date. And it was the proof that I can really do a movie.
Yeah.
And I did that. Like it was multi-layered, multiple characters, and for the small budget that we had, it compares to classic other films that had $1 million budgets, multi-million-dollar budgets. So yeah, I'm really proud of what I'm doing. And I've settled the fact that I may never get the recognition that I think I deserve or that other people get for mediocrity. But I don't let the bitterness come in. Like,
that's right.
Bitterness has no place in it because this is what I learned, right? Even the greats, we're in an era now that we're so far removed from when certain greats were active.
Yeah.
These new don't know who they are.
That's right.
So it's like, I wish I could be the greatest of all time at something, but someone's gonna want to debate that because
that's what they
this
do.
TikTok is way funnier.
Yeah.
on this and that, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or this IG or whatever their thing is. Eddie Murphy ain't Eddie Murphy to some of these new guys. We know who Eddie is. We know who Whoopi is. We know who our goats are, but I gave up the goat chase and trying to get recognized. As long as my core people show up and I'm able to have a great time with them and then I produce stuff and distribute it, I'm living the dream.
Yeah, I didn't it's so funny because somebody posted a George Carlin clip on TikTok and they were like, yo, this man is speaking like bars, right? But they didn't know who George Carlin was.
Right.
But I'm sure George Carlin probably would have never imagined that in 2024, clips would be going viral of the things that he was saying that were just common sense.
Prophetic.
But
and
prophetic
true.
at the same time.
Yeah.
But so I think that the greats, somebody said if you give them the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you, right? So
For sure.
you don't, seeking external validation right now feels like it's more toxic than anything because there's always going to be someone to dispute it because everybody has a microphone now.
Mm-hmm.
But you always pride yourself in doing things quality, no matter what the budget is. Like even the making of the band spoof
Quality.
was always done, the production value is going to always be, well, I've seen you in your lab and how important that stuff is to you. So I don't know. Sometimes you just don't know and maybe don't need to know while you're on your artistic journey how you're impacting other people, because I have had so many people send me videos of you who don't know that I know you. Right. And they wake up, I know someone who was dancing with you, like who feels like you will do some videos where you in your socks and you will get up in the morning. Right. And I have a friend named Michelle that was like, this is every morning, this is what I look at and it makes my day.
Wow.
I dance throughout my house. Like, because every time you get up, you see negative stuff on the internet, and I need some joy.
Yeah. No, I've gotten a lot of that commentary from people that me running up the steps and dancing and doing the spin, whatever it was. Like people have called out random videos that I've been able to put out and tell me that made their day or got them through the pandemic. So I'm just happy. I'm happy to be a vessel, and I'm content with that.
Well, I'm glad you showed up for me today.
I'm always showing up for you.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that I know you're busy. I know you, I got to run into him at the airport.
But no, I'm always show up for you because of who you are to me, right? We've had those long conversations over them French fries, saved our sanity.
Yes.
In a lot of times, right?
Yes.
Saved our sanity.
Yes.
Saved our hearts. It's not a lot of people in Hollywood that I can turn and look at and say, I've had life-changing conversations with that person. And you and I have definitely had those. So, you my sister. I don't care where we at. If you ever have an issue and I'm around, you don't have an issue.
I appreciate that. He knows Kung Fu. And the thing about you is that one thing I will say about you, you always want to speak about God wherever you are. And that is not something that a lot of people do in this town. So it's to be reminded of that.
I really am mindful of practicing what I say I believe. So if I say I'm a believing God and I believe that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, I don't care who's in office. I don't care who up the block. I don't care who's at the president of what studio. If it's mine and he say it's mine, it's mine. Get out of my way.
Yep.
You understand me?
That's right.
So the older I get, and this is what happens with men specifically when we get older, we get fearless.
Yep.
We get very fearless. And it's not in a threatening way. It's just to say, look, I'm gonna live my life.
No, Omar Dorsey was here a little while ago.
That's my guy. That's my brother.
He said the same exact thing in some other words. He said, "I'm grown now. I don't care." It's like,
how your grandfather walking around with his boxers on and don't give a shit, boxers and hard black shoes,
yeah,
and a blazer with no shirt on underneath, because that's what makes him comfortable.
That's right.
I'm getting to that point in life where, I don't give a fuck. Like, y'all trying to censor and do all that. I'm just gonna say it anyway.
Yeah,
you do. I can't present a lesser version of me. It's not gonna come off right.
He does. So anyway, what's next? What do people need to look forward to? What's next on the journey? Are you on the road?
Most immediately, Microphone Masters season 2, and that's me presenting other comedians. Very similar to how Tiffany did with Day Ready, and you benefited from that and flipped it, and now you're you. You was always you, but you capitalized on that moment, and I'm so proud to see what you've done with it. So I'm presenting 3 more comics for season 2.
Okay.
And we're about to film that in a few weeks. And I just been writing a lot lately. I'm talking about writing. And my pen was already crazy. But the stuff I'm writing now, it's the next phase of my career is going to explode in the writing.
Got it.
I'm gonna always still do me, but the writing is what people can watch out for next.
Same. And then how can people find you?
At Affion Crockett, IG, Affion Crockett Comedy on TikTok, even though I don't really do TikTok because TikTok is racist. But at Affion Crockett on Facebook and IG, and AffionCrockett.com, hiphopstory.com. Don't forget the A, hiphopstory.com. Support me.
Thank you for Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time. We want to invite you to follow us on social media at SWYM Pod on all social media platforms. If you are listening, please hit the subscribe button if you're on Spotify or Apple. If you are watching, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to give us your rating and your review, and we will see you next time on Say What You Mean.